Blessings, beautiful souls. I'm just going to get straight into it. I just shuffled the deck after I grounded and just felt good to see what the message for the collective would be for this week. And I started to, ask Spirit, just give me one card, and then I caught myself, no. Let the message unfold as it needs to unfold. Whatever needs be to tell the story, to deliver the message, surrender and allow it to be. Don't try to shape it into what you want it to be for your own comfort. You lose things in that process, right? And so there's that. And it was interesting because 4 cards ended up popping out. The first one that flew out is the river. And there was a card that turned over within the deck. Then the desert popped out. And it looked like it was 3 cards at first because there was the card attached to the desert. And then the last card that I went to go see, what was flipped over, the bridge. Underneath the deck is the shadow. I just looked. So much at play this week. There's so much energy. And the first thing that comes to mind is, again, the river speaks to, it's a powerful force. It is those emotions, that current that is so purifying if we allow it to be. It's only when we fight it that we actually lose control, right? Or we actually lose the battle, so to speak. When we fight against the current, there's no fighting the current. The current representing your emotions, the circumstance, whatever it is. The message here is you're not going to overpower it. Just allow yourself to flow with it and you'll see where the river will lead you. Maybe the river actually leads into the desert. The place and space where you felt like you've been alone, there's, where's the sustenance? Where's the river? I feel, beaten up. There's a picture of a hand coming out of the sand, and then, there's the red sky and what looks like a crescent moon, and it's black. It's very interesting, this picture. Being buried in the sand. What does the sand represent for you? River emotions buried in the matter, the physical, the money, the responsibilities, just all of the things. Feeling buried or overwhelmed, right? But the way out of the desert, the hand that comes to lift you up is Agape. Again, we see this card following from last week. Agape. Ever-present, unconditional, undeniable, only love. Absolute love. That is the thing that quenches your thirst, that allows your skin to get the heat that it needs in right amounts and the cool that it needs in right amounts. It takes care of it all. So if you allow yourself to flow with the things that pop up, the emotions that pop up in this week. Flow with life as it occurs, and things may seem like they're out of your control. But if you allow yourself to flow, you'll find that this is actually purification. The river brings purification. It brings release. what we perceive as trouble in the water is actually a cleansing. Bringing water into the dry places, into the places that we had perhaps since forgotten about, the places that need watering, that need to be seen and witnessed. Once again, the shadow underneath the deck. With what? Love, agape. And then we come to the card that flipped over within the deck, right? That wanted to come out, but was like, I'm not ready. And it's a bridge. It's a rainbow bridge. It's a rainbow bridge. What's going to bring all of this together? Extending that hand that you thought was just yours and alone. That extension of love to that person that maybe, you've been in conflict with, or felt some type of way about something they said or did, or it's time to make amends, to allow yourself to gain some clarity in your relationships. We come back to that word, relationships. Relationships are key to everything. Maybe even be your own best friend. Because maybe a part of what's being revealed now is I have my hand out. There's a feeling of the desert to me is also a purifying place, but it's solitude. Maybe that's just the perception. That was a state. But there's so many hands reaching out to you in love if you accept. If you let go of the inner conflict, the inner turmoil, the inner narratives that you play over and over again around yourself, whatever that may be, or somebody else. I'm going to share this. I had a powerful experience this morning. It came after I had a conversation with a friend of mine the night before. And we were talking about exes and things like that. And although, I don't really feel any anger, about those relationships, I noticed the way I spoke about these people. And I was like, that's not a reflection of me and how I really feel about this or them or the situation. I know that these relationships have been great catalysts for me in understanding love and in understanding, the roles that people play and how sometimes it doesn't always feel pretty, but it gets us to look at ourselves and to own our part and our portion in conflict. I mean, we see this happening on a bigger scale, right? But the inner war is representative of the outer war that we confront or don't, right? And so after this realization, I just was guided to sit with myself. And in that, I just began this practice. It just happened. It just unfolded on its own, where I saw a person's face and I thought about our relationship. I really thought about the words exchanged and, all the things. And I said, that's not his truth. That's not my truth. And I allow this beautiful blessing to grow and to be everything they actually are in truth. And I don't need to hold on to a narrative about them and keep them in any box, just like I don't need to be kept in any box. And there was this process of forgiveness and ownership, right? Of my own contributions, right? And all of the gems that I was aware of, and I'm sure even some that I wasn't aware of, and I could, in my body, it was this ceremony of really, truly, from every part of me, letting go of these victimizer narratives of this weight, of these attachments to these stories about who and what was, that wasn't allowing me to really fully be in the present and clear the space needed for what is and what will be. And what will be is already. We won't go there. Not in this moment. And so I let go. I let go, and in absolute love, by the grace of all that is, in absolute love, I just allowed all of that wisdom to be. I gave those people that were in my life, those beautiful beings of light, gratitude for those experiences. And I'm going to continue with the practice because I literally feel lighter and lighter and lighter. And it feels great. When we feel sometimes unstuck, I ask the question, well, what are you tethered to? What are you holding on to? What stories about somebody else are you not willing to let go of? And it's okay if you're not. It's okay if you still want to hold on to whatever you want to hold on to because that person did X, Y, Z and you're angry and whatever else. It's all okay. Have your process with it. But no, and this too shall pass. It's a choice. We have choice in the matter of letting go. We have choice in the matter of receiving more of ourselves, more of the love that we actually are, more of our truth. And then from that space, interacting with others in love. Agape, it keeps on coming up for a reason. Remember that. Remember that in the desert. Remember that when you feel like you're drowning in the river, maybe those emotions are the gifts to point you in the direction of what is holding me in this resistance pattern. What bridges, rainbow bridges within myself and within my community, within my close, intimate relationships are ready to be seen, witnessed, and mended? What hands are ready to be held? I leave you with this. This is the message for this week. And I send you all the love. Gratitude for tuning in and checking this out. Let me know if this resonates, how it resonates.